How to wake up properly in the morning? What should be our set of rituals?
It's funny. People often think that enlightenment is such a special state of consciousness when you sit in the lotus position, tune in, concentrate, place your consciousness in your third eye area, and here it is, euphoria. You are connected with the whole universe, and it seems to you that you are everything and you are Lord Almighty. Well, we can say so, and sometimes this is how it happens. But to be really honest, you never sleep. So the idea of enlightenment morning does not exist. 24 hours a day, consciousness does not turn off. This is hard situation. You are constantly on air, even if your physical body is asleep. The state that everyone often describes, the state of common bliss with the whole universe, is just one of the stages of enlightenment. But in full enlightenment, you are always online. Already find problematic to turn off this state of full enlightenment, and always like an alien consciousness in matter. Yes, you are in everything, everything is in you, but you see people around you, their bodies, their thoughts, the emotions, and you realize this is only matter. There is no manifested higher self. This state of enlightenment that everyone describes, that I'm in this state, overwhelming bliss with the whole universe, I exist. This is one of the stages of enlightenment, and everyone has it at some point, but it is not the full enlightenment when you are online and you don't have to go back to your consciousness in order for it to be always active. Then your state goes to the full enlightenment, and then you have another problem, how to turn off this state of the full enlightenment. And then if you look at it from this point of view, then yes, you are in everything and everything is in you. It is really this state. But this is the most important state. When you see matter around yourself, yes, people, their bodies, their thoughts, their emotions, and you understand that it's only matter. And do you understand me? They don't have their higher self, they don't have consciousness that would live. You see matter that lives its own karmic life, and you think, oh my god, how do you live? You don't really live. The matter lives instead of you. Karma lives instead of you. Your thoughts, are they yours? No, they're just your karma. Then it turns out that you have clinged to something that you liked, and it drags behind you and it keeps creating. So it means when a human thinks that he is creating some thoughts, that he's creating, that he is imagining something, that he rules something, manages, is a huge illusion. This is why they say that it is called being in the matter, being in Maya. Most importantly, that we all, guys, in order to go out of this identifying with Maya stage, we have to go through agreement with the matter. Sometime we will have to go through this stage of agreement, yes? Don't we? This is why there are magnificent books in Hinduism, yoga, that are not very widespread, like Tripura. They contain secrets of how being in a state of enlightenment agree with the matter, and at the same time how to normally coexist with it. It means that when you achieve the state of full enlightenment, you already don't have this emotional bliss, these emotions that some people experience on the first stages. So you can say that there are 3 stages of a more or less enlightenment consciousness. First state of bliss that some guys already have. This is when I'm so blissful, I'm on the top of the mountain, I exist, I am. Happiness, everything is so great. Guys, I had it too, but objectively you cannot stay in this state for a long period. So it means that you need further grow this. Next state is when you are already in the cosmic state of consciousness. It means I am that. And who is that? Yes, who am I? I am who? It's an inmate. This is my higher self, this soul. That is, there is already a division, right? That is, you understand that you have material physical shell, which is you in this material world. There are 3 planes of material experience: physical, astral, mental, ande. And there is something that I am, which is that. You, after attaining the state of enlightenment, when you are in a state of happiness, bliss, such an ananda, this stage is called ananda, bliss. That is, the guys who reach the state, they think they are enlightenment. And then they hunt for this state, and they think how they will make this state stable. In principle, this is the right way. After this state becomes more or less stable, we move on to the next stage. We develop the cosmic consciousness, and by and large we begin to develop the throat center in ourselves, only for everything. We are not even developing the third eye area center yet. And only then, when we have reached the state of cosmic consciousness, it turns out that I am that at this moment. We must have a fully formed personality in which there are no forms of rejection of anything in the matter. This is the stage in the development of your personality when, from the point of view of the psychotherapy, you must be fully differentiated, aware of this composition of all your bodies, and plus on top a small law that is in Yoga Sutras called dispassion. Imagine what a person has to go through in order to have this real dispassion. And this is true dispassion. This is an almost unattainable stage for so many. They are afraid to go through this stage. What is dispassion? This is when, through yourself, you have experienced so badly all the horrible things that exist and all the good things that are possible. You assume that there is a negative thing. You accepted that they are filth. You assume that there is something bad in people, hung on the cross. Figuratively speaking, can you imagine? This is a compulsory transition in order to move from a state of bliss, happiness, ananda, universal happiness. To go from this state to the next state of cosmic consciousness, it is necessary to pass through this stage of acceptance and achievement of dispassion. And then when you reach this dispassion, then it seems to you that you have already accepted what your individuality consists of. You have formed as an individual. This is ready-made package, is ready to go back to God. After that, when you have completely opened 3 centers, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they completely opened up. You become sterling guide. Your personality is fully formed. You have an individuality, and you have all your accumulated experience. You fully accept all the matter that exists in the universe, such as it is made, with all its shortcomings, with all its filth, human meanness. Here you hang on the cross and you look around. You, those who used to worship you, they are those who throw stones in you. But this is a mandatory stage. Guys, because as long as this acceptance does not take place, the true experience of what it is, I take this matter completely, the world as it is impossible to move on. And then full enlightenment begins, and this is called dedication. After this, a remarkable 6th center opens up. This is really 100% continuous consciousness. There is no need to strain or change this state, nor go into loneliness. Do not go into internal doubts, but where I am and how can I live and who am I, this is completely lost. And you reach the stage where it is I. After that, you can say that you become a Buddha. You have accepted everything, you are completely dispassionate, you have completely gotten rid of any attachments, addictions, you are completely free, and after that you can tell yourself that This is I, and this is just a physical conductor which represents me here when my physical body wakes up, goes somewhere, brushes my teeth, drinks coffee. So you think I'm doing any rituals? I personally do not. Someone is doing it fine. I'm very proud of you. I simply don't have time for that. All I do is a morning yoga to force the channels to function normally in the physical body. This is mandatory ritual. It is needed. Some people ask, if we are now in this incarnation, in this physical body, should we take care of it? Sure, we must support it so that it will give us the opportunity to receive this experience while we are here. Absolutely. But this is also a manifestation of will, discipline, etc. You can throw it, do not feed it, do not wash it. Well, yes, you can, but you can't really. Well, look, usually when a person goes through the stage of denial, there is such an obligatory stage of denial of all human in itself. When in the process of the death of the ego, the denial occurs, inside of oneself everyone wants to send everything to help, stop taking care of themselves, start killing their body in a certain way. Hard austerities, hunger strikes, cleansings, many hours or many days are like exhaustion. This is an obligatory state that is necessary in order to pacify the attachment to the physical body. This must necessarily pass. There is no such thing that you do not go through the suppression of physical attachments and immediately hop and into the queens. If this does not happen, it is necessary to overcome some resistance within yourself, your physics.
Добро пожаловать там гопы в дамки. Да? То есть такого не бывает. Обязательно приходится преодолевать какое-то сопротивление внутри себя, свою физику. То есть вот на этом этапе.
At this stage, a lot of guys have a situation when they think that they will forget about everything, collect their things, go somewhere to India, I will grow my hair, I won't wash myself, I will pray, but I won't support my physical body. Such a complete denial of his physical self. Then you realize that you have to take care of your physical self, because no matter how enlightened you are, if you do not brush your teeth, they will fall apart. Whenever you are enlightened, and if you are pushing bad food into your physical body, it will harm you, it will poison you. Then you come to the place of balance. You keep the external balance of cleanliness, the internal balance of cleanliness. In the course of time, you stop wanting to drink, and there are all sorts of nastiness. You automatically refuse alcohol, cigarettes, you refuse sexual intercourse, because in time they become simply not interesting for you, and everything in due course come clean. Back to the fact that you don't have to take care of yourself. Imagine that you are driving a car, and you have to drive a lot of thousands of miles by car, drive through the whole Russia, drive to Vladivostok from Moscow, and in order to reach, you must first refuel your car, wash it, check the brakes, where you need to fill the oil, where you need it, the wash fluid, the cooling fluid. And in the end, you start on this car to go. And for it to go well, we must stop along the road and check the oil so that it doesn't get stuck, change the light bulbs and everything else. Therefore, the complete denial of its physical shell, in the sense of taking care of it, taking care of cleanliness, is just awful. And so each time for himself, he must work out balance of purity and how one can live. About rituals and discipline. This is absolutely mandatory thing. The physical body is a piece of matter. The astral body is just a piece of matter. The ethereal body is just a piece of matter. And what is matter? Will. You want the matter to be obeyed, you must approach it from the standpoint of the will. On the other hand, it is said that the kingdom of heaven is taken by willpower. Absolutely. It turns out that you must have your own matter, which is in the lower bodies, physical, astral, mental, you must conquer. You must first of all still have to somehow subordinate it to your will. to learn how to manifest it first. And how do we usually show will? I'm good, they are all bad around. How do we usually show will? To influence someone, to force someone to do something. This is our typical manifestation of will. And for yourself, and take yourself, or curtail any part of your personality, physical body, limit yourself to something. And how difficult it is for us. Take food for example. 2 times a month there is a fasting. Some will try to follow it. Well, on this day you have to abandon leguminous, for example, refuse globally from alcohol. Everyone knows that probably this is necessary, but everyone thinks that through alcohol I can relax. As the word relaxing is here, then we are not even close to enlightenment. We have even now, even some initiations of threshold have not passed. What is dedication of threshold number 1? Here so that it was absolutely interesting. There is a dedication of the threshold number 1, the dedication of threshold number 2, dedication of threshold number 3 and 4. Only after this there is awakening and full disclosure of this center. Make it even funnier, on the first initiation of the threshold, a cure is only full opening of the second energy center. This chakra is the one that is always talked about, a sexual center. What we have to do there? In order to fully open it, you must completely conquer your physical nature. That's it. And we all think that if we are engaged in yoga, raising of kundalini, imagining the opening of the physical centers, we have a blaze here. It's shining, everything is good, great. Your illusions, Maya and personality, matter will show you the most wonderful picture. It is an illusion that people open energy centers. In fact, the full opening of the centers occurs side by side. It is associated with the development of the spiritual nature of man. So the first initiation of the threshold, when you are given certain opportunities or real abilities, it comes only after a person has subordinated his physical nature to himself. He lives in discipline, he knows, he completely manages his own passions, physical desires, he subordinates his sex. That, guys, imagine in everyday life when we live, what we are doing. Husbands, wives, children, lovers, all kinds of self-satisfaction, etc. You understand that the first initiation of the threshold, alcohol, drugs, lovers, because this is also a pleasure. On the first initiation of the threshold, this means to take control of all this disgrace and cope with laziness, because the second chakra is, roughly speaking, our tamaguna, the mode of ignorance in us. This is all that is called divorce, sleep, kind of you respect me thing, rough, active, I'm here to subdue everyone, and plus our physical nature in animal manifestation. You must conquer it, and then the full disclosure of the second energy center can take place. It began to shine with full colors, then this energy kundalini, and here this cosmic consciousness, cosmic forces, they begin to transform in you, and there is the possibility of further disclosure already this third energy center. Imagine, this is not even enlightenment yet, it is the initiation of the first threshold. So in order to get it, you must subdue your physical nature. It means, literally translating from the point of view of yoga, it is the observance of yama, niyama, the correct position of the body, the rejection of any physical desires and attachments. Then, when you took your physical form under control so much, you will be noticed. They will come and give you, and will allow you to perform certain miracles within the ethereal and lower floors of the ethereal body. Your abilities will be disclosed so that you will feel the physical body of other people. You will be able to control the etheric and physical energies. You will take yourself completely under control. You will control what you eat, how you sleep, what you want, etc. Such a wonderful state. Plus a vision of others people's disease, the ability to treat people quickly, and so on. Further, the second initiation of the threshold, this is the opening of the third energy center. Only this second initiation of the threshold, This is this chakra. The chakra is in the area of the stomach. What does it mean? It means that a person has the opportunity to feel and know what is happening in the astral world. Do you understand? It's not about the fact that you're already flowing in the vastness of the world's ocean. So in order to achieve this state, you must take control of your emotions completely. Then this is the process, spiritual growth, and correspondingly raising Kundalini. There is a full-scale development of the energy center in you. The ability to see, control, manipulate, etc. develops. You know your composition of your astral bodies. You know what happens in the astral in the other people. You are given the opportunity to somehow influence people, a larger number of people. This center has already been developed once, and it manifests itself spontaneously. In people, it all manifests itself in the form of such charismatic selfish will, I'm cool and awesome. Generally, the third center is the center of selfishness. It's all about me, I'm so good. Imagine that the lower triangle of personality is third. Here, the first, second center is a physical center. Third, fourth, and fifth, throat is a triangle of your personality, and you are just beginning to take control of your astral body. Most often people are at this level with pleasure, like all of us, for the most part. We once have already developed this center. Because we have an Atlantic race behind us, we were all there, and there it was the main task, to develop this center. As a rule, it is developed in everyone. But what does it mean, developed in everyone? So we all know, we all wish for something. We are trying to influence the universe in order to achieve what we want. It turns out that a person falls into the ocean of illusions, and there is a wonderful place that, if you look at your black, is in the Kundalini channel. Around the third center there is such a connector through which Kundalini does not rise until the one doesn't go through his own selfishness. And here he is, arrived. And what happens with a man whose life is generally not bad? And it happens so that his second and third energy centers already work well. He has already accidentally read books, learned some practices. He suddenly decides that he is cool, awesome, enlightenment. And what does he do with it? He has this center working, this center is working. What kind of energy does he translate into the universe? Me, 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 me. Then he is more often guys stuck at this level. They have wives, they have mistresses, they have sex, use drugs, alcohol abusers, because they think that they can do anything. You see, this is the ocean of illusions that astral gives us. Astral is very hard to let people go. It is very well developed in us. One of our bodies is an astral, through which it is enormously hard to break through. But to break it, you need what? Charity. That's why there is a wonderful mantra, Om Mani Padme Om. All the Buddhists love it. And guys are absolutely right. So what is Om Mani Padme Om? My all that I do for the benefit of other living beings. Try to sell it to at least one egocentrical person. Are you guys insane? How will I do this for the good of all? But where will I go? But where am I? And where is mine? Third energy center. Here at this center are many who are awake, though those who are now on the path of enlightenment, they're just stuck. Then welcome to the black magic. This is an astral. It is a will, it is a huge egoism. There is a great desire to do something for yourself, to change yourself. And here we have a wonderful trap in the form of black magic, which attracts a huge number of wonderful guys. And that's all the third energy center. So you may ask, there is energy, but where is the spirituality? Did it stop? Yes, she cannot break through. She cannot go up. Kundalini cannot go to the fourth energy center, transform into this bliss, into Ananda, can it? Because the person has not worked out selfishness. Egoism has not been worked out. So they read millions of times Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om. Then in the end do dedications of their merits to someone not clear to whom exactly. Then talk to a beginning Buddhist. Why should I dedicate my services to beings whom I don't really know? All rituals necessarily end with the fact that we dedicate merit to all living beings. Do you understand why we do this? Guys, we are doing this to break through the illusion of selfishness of the third energy center and get the third initiation of the threshold. What we have earned a fully fledged heart energy center. After that, you can already say that you enlightenment has begun. Do you understand? Are there any questions in this regard? Do you guys have any questions about this math?
Почему я должен посвящать свои заслуги существам, которые мне вообще непонятно, кто такие, да? То есть все ритуалы обязательно заканчиваются тем, что мы посвящаем заслуги всем живым существам. Понимаете, для чего мы это делаем, ребятушки, миленькие? Мы делаем это для того, чтобы прорваться из иллюзии эгоизма третьего энергетического центра и получить третье посвящение порога, чтобы у нас заработал полноценно сердечный энергетический вот этот самый главный центр, для чего потом после этого уже можно говорить о том, что вот ваше просветление, оно уже началось. Понимаешь? Вот в связи с этим есть какие-нибудь вопросы? Ребят, может, у вас есть какие-нибудь вопросы в связи вот с этим безобразием, то, что происходит?
So if at the second center is the guna of ignorance, then probably where is selfishness, is there the guna of passion? There guna of passion rages, so there is guna of ignorance in the second energy center, in the third guna of passion. It turns out that to go to goodness, the second major initiation is needed. This is the third initiation of the threshold. First one is when you take the second center. It is fully revealed in you. You start to shine. You took control of your physical nature. And then by and large, it is yama niyama. Reading the internet, everything is written there. From giving up alcohol, drugs, sex, and everything else. All the rest, it turns out, what we are doing now is all nonsense. By and large, this is a self-illusion. This is a great, huge lie, because what is the deception of Maya for? Why does it seem to us that we are going along some path of enlightenment, but in fact we are only trampling at the level of the second or third in their energy center, trying to feed our ego? Because there is matter, and when we get into matter, it starts to control us completely. In order to break through this matter, so it began to respect you as the consciousness in yourself. Yes, here is matter. You are her stuff, the great mother of the world, and so that she began to perceive me as consciousness within herself, it is very necessary to compete for power. So it needs to be explained, matter, that I, as consciousness, as part of God, have the right to be an inhabitant here. I have the right to a conscious existence here. You do not need to educate her. After some time, you do not want to raise anything with her. You start loving and you begin accepting everything else. All the ancient treatises and writings on enlightenment, they are basically about it. Find the balance between spiritual in itself and the material. But unfortunately, as we look for walking along the path of enlightenment, we want to eat our cake and have it too. This is to have money and sex and drugs and alcohol and social success of some kind and sense of our own awesomeness. Welcome to selfishness, and all this while I'm enlightened. Listen, guys, everyone decides for himself, honestly, looks at his sincere level of development. You can absolutely not love me for it. I don't need this love of yours in 100 years. I'm here to tell the truth, and here is the reality. It is like that. Believe it or not, but if you do not believe me, you must receive real confirmation from this. Suppose a person who received a third perception of threshold. Here he is already a miracle worker. After breaking through this thing, a person can already change the lives of other people with his blessing.
есть вот прорвавшись через вот эту штуку, то есть человек уже может своим благословением менять жизни других людей. Вот каждый для себя.
Here, everyone who thinks for himself, who considers himself enlightened, using drugs, engage in ordinary family life, please tell me, how many people have you blessed whose life changed after that?
Жизнь изменилась после этого.
Well, can you attribute someone else's changes to yourself? You can, yes, but everything will be quite different in fact. In this case, the person on the third perception of threshold should get his wonderful state of enlightenment, about which a lot of guys talk on the internet. A state of ananda, bliss. This feeling of this universal happiness, I like everything in me, and I am so one with the whole world, I am perfectly fine, and there are no questions, and simply here is a state of ananda, bliss. Only this is beginning. It turns out, still you have to go and go further. There are many more questions that are probably connected with this, that people, when they read the writings of such enlightened people, believe that the very first way of enlightenment is to go to India for a couple of weeks and immediately get it. Yes, going to India for a couple of weeks, it's a great idea. And they ask how, while maintaining current lifestyle, ordinary one, get enlightened as quickly as in India, doing nothing but sitting and thinking about it. I get a lot of questions like this, both on the side and in general. Okay, but now imagine you are leaving for India. Who lives? The material shell, consciousness, has not been awakened at all. Consciousness is still asleep until this thing is fully opened, until any sense of myself or the fourth heart center is not yet revealed. A full sense of its spiritual nature does not come yet. That a person really experiences this feeling, the person goes there because his higher self inside says, listen, come on, you finish with this material nonsense, enough, please, for 2 weeks, then for a month, go somewhere. And then a person gets to a place where other people practice, and he goes there like who? As a general egoist. He has not yet overcome his own third chakra, right? He is confident in his exclusivity, he is confident in his awesomeness, he is sure that he is the incarnate Lord on earth. Almost all have such an illusion. They are sure that they all had great past incarnations. I am so impressive. I now come here on some retreat, and the whole universe falls immediately to my feet. And by and large, for such theoretical practice comes a huge amount of ego, a huge amount of identified matter that wobbles if you observe such in green and red colors. Tell me that I'm good. A person comes to this thing to begin with in order to receive confirmation of his exclusivity. And here is a person in this state of exclusivity. There is the ideal beginning of the universe breaking matter over its knee. And here begins the path of enlightenment. But it begins through the path of testing. Most often the path of testing happens at the level of the third energy center. It is necessary to knock out egoism out of the human. So what does matter do? Matter owns us, but at the same time it develops us. We are part of the matter. Until we have realized ourselves as the part of the universe, until we have enlightenment, until we have left. Therefore, its task is to bring us to the right condition, break over its knee, deprive of everything, so that we start to move faster, so that we eventually reach at least the basic state of bliss. And this wonderful way of trials is actually 7 years of hell. By and large, yes. Or you surrender faster, or you are tripping for real by on average 7 years, or 7 lives. So this pleasure can be stretched. Do you understand the beauty? Trying to connect the incompatible. how to connect the egoism of the physical, one's own pleasure, lust, connect your own passions with spiritual growth. Well, everyone is trying to find this balance. They are looking long travels, they are looking for a wonderful teacher who will pat them on the back. You have to find that teacher. You need to go through all the teachers, listen to different ones. In the end, choose one. Well, I'm especially keen on this topic. Choose someone who pats you on the back and says, "You are so special." Well, who needs it? This one. He will stay there. He will be sold all sorts of visualization, meditation. He will... this whole thing is specially built into matter, so that a person lives in this. For some reason he thinks that he is so special, but for some reason nothing actually happens. Miracles somehow do not arrive, millions of dollars do not happen, and all somehow everything is very sad, and still somehow I want to continue. But at the same time, at this level of going through the ocean of illusions, almost everyone wants to find a spiritual teacher who pats them on the back, because the task of true spiritual teacher is to break the ego over his knee and kick one's out. Because the task is to knock out of a person this thing and bring it quickly to the level of this. Here's the separation of itself from this. You come to a man who says, "We are sitting with you in the lotus position now, we are visualizing with you a wonderful picture now, and here comes cosmic and then universal love your way. A stream of blessings flows on you. We are now all together and we all vibrate together. So everyone is happy." What does the ego think? Yes, I am in the subject. I am in trend. I am good. I am one of the many chosen ones. Do you understand? There is no process of death of selfishness. Here a person connects with this stream, but he preserves his self, his selfishness. But Ananda, even I am in everything in this me, this path towards which everyone is running, it still does not even happen, or happens simply as an expansion of consciousness. Interestingly, between this and this, there is a large state of euphoria, expansion of consciousness. This is the state of euphoria, and then oops, and immediately rejection. And here is the reality. I hate everyone, everything is shit. Or again, everything is bad, trouble, someone has stepped on your foot, relatives irritate you, and everything else. In this wonderful period, while we break through the ocean of illusions, we are faced with a lot of minor troubles, and we think, is it the devils who are tasting us so that we don't go anywhere far? Or are we all bad? I'll leave for India, I'll be sitting somewhere under the tree. Listen, dear, even under the tree you will be found by your states of astral bodies. Anyway, you will be there to encounter some things that are annoying. If a person is malicious, he will be angry. If a person is irritated, he will be irritated there. If a person is proud, everyone around him will be annoying because they want something. What are you sitting here for? I am the coolest here. A person will go through his ego anyway. There is understanding that enlightenment is multi-layered. Some people ask questions about some kind of multi-layered enlightenment, but these probably are some levels and sub-levels of some states, and of course the provocations of people with whom we meet alive. They constantly knock us out, and as if they do not roll down to the level below, but each time they demand. Provocations will be while you are stuck at the ocean of illusions level, while you still try to combine your ego and squeeze your ego into paradise. That's what they say, I'm so good. Why me, such as I am, a wonderful little man, is not taken there? Why am I suddenly not enlightened? Because I'm so wonderful. At this level it seems to us that we are like that. We are there and all is well. What is the aim of matter? Our matter, my illusion. We have to destroy this illusion, bring us to a state where we understand everything we are made of. This and learn to do something else for others. Look, Just to begin to move in this direction, notice what a correct path Buddhism offers. Wherever I do for the benefit of all living beings. The same path is offered by all other religions, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, all. All speak as one. To begin spiritual growth, you must stop living for yourself and begin to live for your neighbor. And it's actually so ingeniously simple. But it is incredibly difficult for us. Because we think that, wait, first me, and more. And then I can start sharing. How come? I will now start to do something for the good of all living beings. The first question is usually, but if I bless someone, won't I take some happiness from myself? Won't I give my happiness to someone? Well, if you think this way, my dear, then yes, you will give. When there is a question of greed, is this your energy of happiness? In general, what is the energy of happiness? This is the state of some rapture at the level of the astral. If you share your happiness with another person, will it take anything from you? If yes, it turns out you have not yet gone through the ocean of illusions. Or you can just break through it. To do it, you need to control over the sexual side of life. In any case, have to limit enormously. If you are married, then the most important questions for everyone. I had one who wrote, "Life has ran before my eyes as soon as I learned that I should give up these sexual things." If you do not refuse this, but if your life at least limiting lavishness, one partner, this is devotion. This is a devotional service. You have to choose for yourself some person to whom you will serve. Learn to love her. Take the family as it is. Begin to show signs of caring, charity, love, and everything else. If you have a family. If you do not have a family, then of course you do not have to start it in this state. You need an object of care. As they say, let's get a rabbit, I'll take care of it. Not necessarily. There is always a huge number of people around whom you can take care of yourself without compensation. Again, charity. This is the thing that was invented in order to open the third energy center and in order to get the second initiation of the threshold. To break through the astral, charity is built into all religions of the world, into the social system, into our humanity, in the public consciousness as something very good. You must free of charge, not expecting that you will be praised voluntarily and not bargaining with Lord, give 10% to the charity. Then when everything is honest, then you can say that you no longer experience these attachments and you have this thing, let everything that I do for the benefit of all living beings. You really can earn. But this state in yourself, you have to grow it. You see, there is no such thing that suddenly it just appears, happens. We are all in this potential that we can have it. It is still necessary to exercise will. So that's how immediately, oops, and I suddenly became so free, kind, all of love, charitable, suddenly ceased to be an egoist. Yes, you are still an egoist. You have billions of years behind you of selfishness, and now in 1 second, after listening to someone intelligent, you suddenly abandon selfishness? It doesn't happen. It is a slow process. The question is only in the will, in self-esteem and in honesty. The most important thing at this stage is to honestly admit your composition and what you are really made of. To admit that my car consists of aggression, resentment, pretension, selfishness, and to understand for myself that it's okay, it's not me. There is a very good solution, by the way. This is the way of meditation. It's not me. This is what I live in. I am a God, I am a soul, I am a part of God, I live in this. And that's how it happened historically for all my reincarnations, that I gained in myself some kind of emotions, attachments, passions, and so this is how my astral body used to treat life. What am I left to do with it all? Okay, I admit it's there. That's my car. All is well. Yes, I start to control it, what it consists of, so that it suddenly does not make a signal and does not turn around in the corners and go on. But you understand what the problem is. Why is there a lot of guys in the ocean of illusion who are on the path of enlightenment? They don't want to. They want to go to paradise with all this. After all, I am myself the most wonderful one. If I'm completely filled with this shit, even if my aggression is justified, even if my drugs are justified, everything is justified. Here in this state everything hangs, and there is a huge number of mentors who gladly cater to this selfishness and leave people further in the ocean of illusions.
Есть огромное количество наставников, которые с удовольствием угождают этому эгоизму и оставляют людей дальше в океане иллюзий.
Again, there are those who break through further, break into bliss, and there are those lucky people who have this bliss happen in past lives. And then one beautiful day you are walking along the street and you got it. Here it is, universal happiness. Astral sings with happiness, overwhelming happiness, cosmic energies over the top, everything. I'm part of universe. The universe loves me. Universal wow, super, heart center, cosmic love. And then, oops, it all ends. And what comes back? And who am I? And who am I after that? And how can I live on? And here it is shock, horror, panic. It turns out that there are still rudiments of selfishness of lower bodies, which a person falling into such a state of sudden awakening, this is not enlightenment, it was awakened. She walked and went to sleep. And this is the start of the worst nightmare of all the guys who faced it. You understand that you are no longer this, and how to live with all this, and the pursuit of this state begins, state of bliss, cannot be compared to any sex, no drug, the state of universal happiness, this heart center has earned, which you discovered in previous incarnations. It happened, and now the thing begins, how we will continue to live with this whole thing, how we will reconcile with this whole thing matter with the lower desires, because when this happens, they still have an ether, which has to got used to previous habits, to eat meat, to drink alcohol, or let's face egoism in the third chakra. It is usual astral, and on which we all live. And now a person has a conflict between the top and the bottom. The top wins, then the bottom wins. That top, then bottom. Here the most difficult situation. The main thing here is not to hang on into this fight for too long. You can hang on in this fight for too long, because if person did not break through in previous incarnations higher, did not get to the throat center, did not become he did not begin to control his mind. He can hang in this state of a sudden awakening in Ananda and suppress his physical nature. Do you understand the word suppress? Will it, physical nature, try to break through again? Can a person understand for himself to what level has he grown in previous lives, and that it does not make any sense for him to even try to move on? Is it necessary to work out what level he is on, or only teacher can do that? You know, there is one thing called the mind that will never give you precise knowledge of what is actually happening to you. What's this? This is part of matter. What are its tasks? Twist, muddle, envelope. The mind will give you 1,000 explanations that you are already brightly enlightened. Guys, if you're enlightened, then why don't you perform miracles? So let's do it, huh? Okay, you can get 1,000 times high from drugs with a combination of universal happiness. The how is your enlightenment in this state of Ananda better than any state of any addict who is getting himself high from under advanced ecstasy? No, it's not better. That is, It's also just a state of mind in which you experience buzz. And what is the state of enlightenment? This is a wakefulness, it's awareness. It is 100%, 24 hours a day, awareness of your spiritual nature in this body. And that's all. And you do not get high, there is no buzz, there's just work. 24 hours a day on different plans, and you do not have a second of a free time. You have state of consciousness that everything you think is just not enough time, because you are 24 hours a day, it's just not enough. This is not a state of relaxation, happiness, meditation. There is no enlightened people who sit under the Bodhi tree. One of the stages of enlightenment. For the full opening of this center, you must sit there for a while. You should tear the pieces between the state of bliss and reality. Bliss is reality. Do you understand? All through this path, only if I honestly explain what is really going on and say so, I am now taking on the fact that I am starting to fight myself, to watch my egoism in its all manifestations. I make my ego engage in devotion. I make my ego do everything I do for the benefit of all living beings. Here's an example. You went and washed the floors at your own house. What do you think usually about it? Oh, I'm so great, I just made the house clean. What should you be doing in this case? You should be cleaning the house for the sake of everyone. Let what I did be for the benefit of all living beings. All. Do you understand? Take away the selfishness. Just take it away. You went and did something in the company. For example, pour a tea for the employee. Do we usually have a motive at the level of the third chakra? I poured him some tea, he would praise me, he will thank me, and then when I need help, he will help me. Or he will say a word for me at the meeting. And you just go and make him tea as a living creature and mentally bless you, free of charge, about myself. Yes, this is a horrible, hard thing to do for us, my dear. It's unrealistically difficult. At the same time, a person can be partially in the state of Ananda, in the state of the heart center, when he needs to be blessed free of charge or to do something graciously. He has not worked out this thing yet. A lot of guys have this condition now. This is some kind of our karmic stackiness, and through this thing it's very difficult to break through, because in the case of a strong ego it is very difficult for a person to explain that something is wrong with him, because everyone remains in the state of satisfying the ego and bliss from this Ananda, old. And here it is neither that nor that. When you want to live, you will do anything. You seem to be adapting to yourself, and mind matter explains everything is all right. Sniff, smoke, get high, sleep, enjoy, and I am so enlightened. I read japa, mantras, go on meditation, walk around Kailash. I'm good, I can. For some reason it is said in all books that it is impossible to do it that way. Since all the great ancient writings, for some reason they write it's impossible, but I can because I'm so special. That is the gap between Ananda and ego, and here what happens next? Next comes the most terrible horror that happens in the life of every enlightened one. There is a terrible thing called death of the ego. Matter itself, it is just taking over you. She begins to beat out dope out of you, in particular large sizes. And everyone are very much afraid of this path of testing. Do you understand? To remove a person from the ego, he needs to show what he is made of. Let's say in Kabbalah or in Hinduism, there is staircase and the tree of knowledge, the tree of life. And everywhere there is one secret zone, an abyss. By and large, in any religion, in Hinduism, Christianity, you must pass through its abyss. And in this abyss, you must get to know yourself with everything that you have at the level of selfishness. And this moment of acceptance, you seem to take everything in yourself and accept it in yourself. We accept only the good. The bad we do not accept in ourselves. I'm mostly good.
Принимаешь в себе и так, да? Но принятие в себе, мы же принимаем в себе только хорошее, да? Плохое мы в себе не принимаем. Я же самый хороший по-любому для себя. Да. И вот это вот
And this is the process of taking in itself everything and accepting everything around us as it is. A person begins to look around at the matter and says, "Oh, come on, this is what we have here. Here it is. Life is a reality. This is matter and people are also a combination of material energies and nothing more. Until a person is awakened, this is just matter."
не более того, пока он не пробужденный, это всего лишь материя. Даже очень кайфующая материя. Понимаешь?
Suffering matter, matter that is full of buzz. This is just matter. And this is the certain state of matter. And when you start accept everything that happens in your life the way it is, dispassionately, impartially. If we go through hell, the abyss, and the way of testing, all it is still called in different ways, sitting in the desert as Jesus Christ sat in order to completely subdue everything in himself and some other remarkable things that pass, and no matter where you sit, where you will pass it, but still go through this realization of everything in yourself and in all other people, all in other matter must pass through you.
Людях, всего в другой материи. И вот возникает настоящий
This is real impartiality, dispassion. That's when you stop expecting from the universe some kind of well-being, you accept it as it is. Let's say you're walking down the road and you see dirt, and then you just usually pass by, and then you pay attention to the sun, and then you go back to dirt, and then you see the tree, grass, and you go back to dirt, but you don't really pay attention to it anymore. This is how our consciousness works. We only notice what we would like to notice. And then just imagine you accept everything as it is, and you don't have any part of cosmic perception that rejects anything.
у тебя ни одна часть твоего вот этого вот космического восприятия ничего не отвергает. Да? Черт.
Heck is heck, demon is demon, dark energy is dark energy. It is what it is harmonious, it's all in its place. And this dirt is just so small. From this is your state of feeling of yourself, this is happiness. And not even happiness, already the question is not about happiness, the issue of internal acceptance and tranquility. It is everything. And the question is already settled. Is it at this time or before that the person realizes that he has got such a material cover, that is physical, has illnesses? He's got it. It hurts here, it hurts there, it has flaws. The physical cover with diseases comes from karma from previous lives. It is sick in this life because you felt certain emotions in the past at the level of the third center of selfishness. The cause of our diseases is always the third energy center, always a level of selfishness. Nothing can be done about it, and this egoism, it will still manifest itself from past lives. It is from past lives that got us a certain composition of astral body, and which now attracts the same, that determines the quality of your etheric body and the quality of your diseases. Will you be healthy, beautiful? Will you have incurable chronic pains for which you die? Please ask all those questions to your astral body. Your selfishness makes you so. What you are, if you are sick and dying, is a question to your ego, it sits at the level of third chakra and defends himself and says from there, you are good. The question here is, if your awarenesses grows, do your illnesses go away? Yes, then the illness is over. Look, the second initiation of a threshold, this means a complete recovery, because when the energy center is being rejuvenated, you get rid of selfishness. Your physical health comes to an almost perfect form. You have completely opened this energy center, having overcome this ocean of illusions, having coped with egoism when it fully works. The astral is in a good shape, healthy, normal state. You have good energy in your astral body, appropriately good ether and good physics. everything, you are healthy. Generally speaking, after that your physical health is satisfactory and you are ready to go further. Therefore, without full third energy center, without third chakra, without second perception, initiation of a threshold, unfortunately enlightenment doesn't happen.
Центра, без третьей чакры. Без второго посвящения порога, к сожалению, да, просветление не случается.
Enlightened ones still died. They had diseases. When did they receive them? Look, Buddha died because he consciously allowed himself to be poisoned. Jesus Christ died. Everyone knows under what circumstances. Who else can you remember? That's it. They didn't die from diabetes, no. And they didn't die from cancer either, no. Or at a certain moment disease can happen. Then in history there are a lot of cases when a person rolls back for some reason. You cannot blame a person for how to live and blame yourself that you rolled back. You constantly roll back to your ego positions. And can we say that he's not a man? Maybe he also had unfinished things in selfishness. Again, it often happens. Most often the state when a person becomes fully enlightened, the normal way out is when the time comes to die, all the consciousness of the energy bodies makes thin. Physics, ether, astral, mental, they are maximally thinned by the power of will of consciousness. All consciousness is transferred to the sixth center, and after this a person fully enters the state of samadhi and does not return to his physical body.
После этого человек полностью выходит в состояние самадхи и уже в свое физическое тело не возвращается.
It looks like we roll the mats and we just live here and go.
Какой крест над ним стоит. То есть все разные.
Again, there are different circumstances. We cannot judge those who were before us and those who will be after us. Please hold back your assessments because you never know who is a true enlightened one on your way. He may look like a perfect douchebag, but you'll never know what kind of cross is over him. That is all different. All have different personality. No one resembles another. Not everyone have to have buzzing. It is completely optional. You can maintain a normal life. A large number of enlightened people really live among us, but you can always determine them by the degree of selfishness, by the degree of inner rudeness, by the degree of their personality's perfection. By and large, there should be in front of you a practically normal, healthy, moral person.
Я встречала полностью просветленных среди людей, которые ни разу даже на Кайлаше, не то что на Кайлаше, ни на одном.
Already it turns out that there are many such potentially enlightened people. And what is the amount of ostensibly enlightened among egoists, alcoholics, drug addicts, and bastards? Here, please, do your counting.
Будем называть именами, такое тоже существует, совершенно нормально.
I met fully enlightened people who never been on to Kailash mountain, neither on Kailash nor on a single retreat. They have such a purpose. They in this life work out a certain form of material existence. We will not name the names, but they also exist. Here's the most important thing. If you want to understand the state of human enlightenment, you must understand the degree of things he is capable of. Again, there are no enlightened ones without superpowers. They are just given automatically, so the nature is working. In a person, in any case, when reaching the second initiation of a threshold, completely healthy, uncovered energy centers, he attracts people, everyone loves him. He is engaged in charity, he is shining of kindness, he has a beautiful astral body, ideal health. Well, or at least he is quickly restoring. I am ready to let through a huge amount of negativity. His astral body digests everything and he further generates actively.
Да, да. Если вы встречаете человека, который находится в состоянии постоянного блаженства или в погоне за состоянием вот этого вот счастья, присутствия, всеобщности и ощущения себя во всем, то это означает, что он хоть
If you meet someone like this, it's already a good level.
посвящение порога, но ему еще все равно предстоит время для того, чтобы полностью вот подчинить себе и справиться с какими-то моментами, которые остались.
If you meet a person who is in a state of constant bliss or in the pursuit of a state of happiness, presence, universality, and a sense of himself in everything, it means that he wants to fix himself at a level of a third initiation of a threshold, but he still has time to completely subdue and cope with some moments that have remained. Egoism must be passed. Through the death of ego, it is necessary to pass. We must fully realize oneself, that all the bad, good get dispassionate. Then the throat center is already opened. Then this is a perfect personality which can go further
in enlightenment.
Вот такой человек скажет там вот что-нибудь другому человеку, это сразу же ему напрямую попадает в душу.
And this is just the throat center. What does it give to person? It would seem it's not about the third eye. What does the throat center provide? This is control over the thoughts of other people. If such person says something to another person, it immediately gets into the soul.
На самом деле это всего лишь навсего полноценная личность, да, с полностью раскрытыми вот этим.
This is already an opportunity to write scriptures. The Bible was written by the guys who lived at the throat center. This is the opportunity to create spiritual teachings. You can imagine that this is the greatest level of spiritual development, but in fact it's just a person with fully opened third, fourth and fifth energy centers. And now he's already speaking, and every word of it gets to a person right into the heart, in the brain and everything. This is a complete transformation.
То есть к этому моменту он берет под контроль даже эту ананду свою, даже это свое безумное счастье. То есть это вот состояние, горловой центр, когда развитый, это означает, что человек...
It is getting more, but in this moment he already completely has to control this thing. This level is called mental plane, where happiness is possible. This is the level of Ananda. This time he has already taken control of even Ananda, even his own mad fortune. That is, this condition, the throat center, when developed, it means that a person has accepted both bad and good. He has dispassion. So tell me, dispassion and universal happiness, what is all about? Do you understand? It is on top of happiness to accept all misfortune. Take it all as it is, with it all gets used to and live with it. And here you have a perfect person who is ready to go into the state of Buddha. To go over here, then it all turns off and begins to creep in here. The first crawls into the center in the head, the whole power of ego. This thing, by this time, already loses the energy of the place to be, and now a center begins to open its head. I am speaking very figuratively right now, then you can, in details, combine with Kundalini energy. Here is your third eye, right? Pineal gland. All of you. There is energy through the eye. You are already a state truly. That is I. All have come.
Посвящение. Вот тут к вам приходят.
After this, it is already certainly difficult to roll down. At this moment, when this thing is selfish, at the level of the third chakra already ceases to exist. Yes, you know the past, the present, the future, the answers to questions, you know the karma of people, what is better for them, how it is better for them. This is complete awakening, and it is called
initiation.
Here they come to you, and then you yourself will understand that this happened. Someone or something will come to you, someone will say, "What's next?" You will already know that you are enlightened, dedicated, and further in front of you opens a huge number of options for your own spiritual evolution. You can remain a Buddha reincarnated, you can go into spiritual world and have many options, usually 7, but to each his own according to his personality. Do not worry, as soon as here grow up, before Ananda at least grow up, for you will already be closely watched, already you will be protected, already karma will bring down all the source of happiness on you. Everything will be alright. It is necessary only to scratch and scratch hard. Guys, I understand that I have upset a huge number of people today. On the other hand, maybe not, but I solved some internal problems, set at least a landmark where it is necessary to grow. So for today we will finish. Next time we will discuss further options and possibilities. We will talk about the throat center, we will talk about the heart center better, differentiate options for opening the cardiac and throat centers. There are
Secrets and secrets.
Enlightenment is an endless process. Everyone has his own specific questions, and please write them in the comments. All the best, have a great way of enlightenment. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me and ask them.
Будем работать дальше.